It is a great honor and pleasure to be back with my unicity family here in Thailand. I am so thankful I have this opportunity to serve on the advisory board and continue being a part of the great work Unicity is doing around the world. I'm going to talk today about yerba mate, but first, I want to introduce you to my mom. My mom was a teacher, a mother to 4 girls, a loving wife, and a master class in patience, grace, love, and joy. She was my biggest supporter and a huge part of my success in life. She couldn't wait to come visit me when I moved to Utah in 2020 for my new job, Vice President of Research and Development for Unicity International. But just 2 weeks after I started my role with Unicity, my mom passed away unexpectedly. I didn't get to say goodbye, but she knew I loved her, and I knew she loved me. When you lose someone you love, there's always grief, right? For me, grief came in the form of lots of tears, a reduction in healthy habits like eating well and exercising. It manifested as days I didn't want to go to bed, or work, or see people. My friends, my family, even my new Unicity family were all very supportive during this time. But aside from that, I had another tool that really helped me, and that was Unimate. This is a very true story, and it's why I have such a strong belief in this product today. For me, Unimate helped me show up on days I didn't want to. It helped me keep my weight under control and maintain my health even when I wasn't practicing the best health habits. It gave me a mood boost and helped me focus at work. It was a small thing I looked forward to every day. Unimate is experiential, right? It's something you feel the very first time you take it, and it's something that you keep coming back for day after day because you like the way it makes you feel. People's experience with the product matters. I know my story is just one of thousands from people who are benefiting from Unimate every day. It's important for you to find your story, how Unimate has helped you or a loved one. What experiences connect you to the power of this product? Experience matters, and people have been experiencing the benefits of yerba mate, the key ingredient in Unimate, for hundreds of years. Yerba mate, or Ilex paraguayensis, is a plant native to a region in South America. It includes parts of Argentina, Brazil, Paraguay, Uruguay. And the leaves and stems from this shrub have long been prized and consumed in these cultures as a hot beverage shared in the traditional gourd amongst friends and family as a form of bonding. This tradition is based on ancient wisdom, the collective knowledge passed through generations that drinking an infusion of this plant increases energy, stamina, endurance, focus, and alertness. It's been touted as a digestive aid, an appetite suppressant, and a reliever of stress and inflammation in the body. There are numerous examples of civilizations discovering the power of plants long before modern science could explain the why. White willow bark was known by ancient Egyptians and Greeks to reduce pain and improve outcomes during illness or injury. Modern science later identified the compound salicin in the bark, which is a precursor to modern aspirin. You may know aspirin as a widely used medication to reduce fever, inflammation, and pain in the body. Turmeric root has been used for thousands of years in Ayurvedic and traditional Chinese medicine. Modern science now knows that turmeric contains curcuminoids, very potent antioxidant and anti-inflammatory molecules. Humans have tapped into the power of plants for thousands of years. Those experiences get passed through generations, and experiences build belief. And yet, some seek validation by modern science. They want to know the why behind these effects. For yerba mate, modern science has identified many compounds that drive the experience people feel and experience when they drink an infusion of this leaves. So those are the chlorogenic acids, theobromine, caffeine, and unique bitter compounds called mate saponins that Dr. Bickman mentioned earlier. We call these compounds that have positive actions in our body bioactives. But another thing modern science has revealed about plants like yerba mate, coffee, and tea is that there are many factors that can affect the bioactive profile from that plant. Growing conditions like altitude, temperature, precipitation, soil, harvesting season, and even processing after harvest can affect which bioactives are present and in what amounts. When you consume a natural product like coffee or tea, you really don't know how much of those bioactive compounds from the plant you're getting. Studies show the amount of these beneficial compounds like chlorogenic acids, other polyphenols, antioxidants can vary widely across different samples and preparations. We know roasting coffee beans reduces the chlorogenic acid content by half, and processing methods by other commercially available yerba mate drinks can greatly reduce the chlorogenic acid content. In fact, we found unicity has about 20 times more of these important bioactive compounds than other options on the market. That is why process matters. To ensure we deliver a consistent, high-quality product every time that we know is going to be enriched in the right amounts of these bioactive compounds that target metabolic health. At Unicity, we've spent years optimizing our BioSelect process, a proprietary process that standardizes the production of unicity in 5 key steps, from the selection of which leaves are harvested in South America, all the way to our ultra-concentrated end product. This is really important for people to understand. This process and the resulting ingredient we obtain at the end of the process are what sets Unicity and unicity apart from our competitors. Let's look at the importance of each step. It starts with the yerba mate leaves. We know the quality of the starting material is critical to the end product. Our yerba mate is shade grown under natural canopies in the forest or in carefully restored areas. When the time is right, every 1 to 3 years, we hand select and harvest only the mature leaves from the plant, leaving the existing yerba mate plants intact. That's really important. This process is highly sustainable. It helps to support both traditional cultural practices and protect vital forest ecosystems that are native to this region. Once harvested, how the material is processed in these early stages is also very important. We have a 2-step drying process that was designed to preserve the bioactive compounds we want while eliminating undesired components from the raw material. So we flash heat the leaves at a very high temperature, and this deactivates enzymes in the yerba mate leaves that would otherwise start to degrade our bioactive compounds over time. This flash heating also works to kill off any harmful microorganisms that might contaminate the final product. But because this step is so fast, flash heating, it doesn't actually, the heat doesn't reach the inside of the leaves and deactivate our compounds of interest, the chlorogenic acids and those other compounds we just talked about. So we call this step bioactive preservation because it's critical to preserving those important bioactive compounds in our yerba mate leaves. Next, our yerba mate is aged for several months, and this aging process has been shown to increase the levels of bioactive compounds and increase the antioxidant activity of the leaves. This aging process also contributes to the final taste and color of the product, which is one reason why unicity tastes so much better than other yerba mates you may have tried. Lastly, this dried and aged yerba mate is milled into a fine powder that will be used for our extraction process. This milling is also a really important step because it allows us to extract higher amounts of those bioactive compounds we want. So at this stage, our leaf material is finally ready for extraction and concentration. There are different ways you can perform extraction on botanicals, but water only is the purest and cleanest way to do that. It's also most in line with the traditional use of yerba mate, how it's traditionally consumed in these cultures, water only, extracting those beneficial compounds. Unicity has fine-tuned a water, gentle-based extraction that creates this natural extract without the potential for harmful chemical residues that it can exist in other chemically based extraction processes like ethanol extraction that you may have heard of. After extraction, our products goes through a three-stage filtration process that further concentrates all of those beneficial compounds we're looking for. And then our quality team at Unicity rigorously tests each batch to ensure it meets threshold or minimum levels of these bioactive compounds before it goes into Unicity. The resulting ultra-pure extract is enriched with those key bioactives from yerba mate. They're specifically tailored for metabolic health. Chlorogenic acids, theobromine, caffeine, and the mate saponins. Process matters. It's how we guarantee the potency of bioactives in every serving of Unicity and how we know each batch is going to be effective. If you knew a certain amount of a medicine would make something better, would you settle for a lesser dose or an option that could have widely varying amounts of that beneficial compound? No, you would want to know that you are getting the effective dose of the beneficial compound consistently. Imagine how different people's experiences would be with Unicity if we didn't have a process. One batch, they might feel amazing after drinking Unicity. Another batch, they might have no effects. This is what you're getting with coffee and other yerba mate products on the market. Unknown quality and unknown potency. With Unicity, you're getting a standardized product every time that's going to be consistent. Experience matters, process matters. To me, there's one more thing that matters when it comes to Unicity, and that is the science. There are hundreds of research articles on the benefits of yerba mate, but there are thousands of research articles on the benefits of the most abundant polyphenol in Unicity the chlorogenic acids. If you hear people talk about the benefits of drinking coffee, they'll say things like, drinking coffee lowers your risk of type 2 diabetes, heart disease, certain cancers, and your risk of neurodegenerative diseases like Parkinson's. But how? What have scientists attributed those benefits of coffee to? It's the chlorogenic acids, and guess what? Unimate has about 10 times more chlorogenic acids than coffee on average. Remember I told you how growing conditions, processing, and preparation can affect the bioactives in these extracts? The chlorogenic acids are very sensitive to this, and they're degraded by heat. So the process of roasting coffee greatly decreases the chlorogenic acids in coffee. We say Unimate has 10 times more chlorogenic acids than coffee because that's based on an average, the average amount in published literature on coffee. But we've tested some samples of coffee that have no chlorogenic acids. So this just goes back to the point. If you are not testing for and standardizing these important bioactive compounds, you have no idea how much you're getting, and therefore no idea if you'll get effects and benefits from that product. The chlorogenic acids are actually a group of related compounds. They have really long, complicated names that we don't need to talk about, but we call this group chlorogenic acids. And they've been extensively studied in the scientific literature. They show benefits on fat metabolism, insulin sensitivity, blood sugar levels, weight control, blood pressure, and strong anti-inflammatory and antioxidant activities. In fact, the majority of benefits we can attribute to these chlorogenic acids are because they are such potent antioxidants. Why are antioxidants important? If you were here 2 years ago, you may remember me talking about how our bodies are constantly generating these damaging molecules called reactive oxygen species, or ROS. These are a product of normal metabolism, but they can increase when we have an immune response, we're exposed to air pollution, or we're stressed. These ROS go around causing damage in the body, and they activate inflammation. We call the damage these ROS create oxidative stress. So more ROS means oxidative stress and accumulation of damage and inflammation in the body. And oxidative stress is implicated in all sorts of conditions and diseases, cardiovascular disease, type 2 diabetes, decline of brain function, and the process of aging in general. Antioxidants neutralize the ROS that cause oxidative stress, which can help alleviate all of those problems oxidative stress is causing. Just to give you another example of this, ROS can oxidize LDL cholesterol. This oxidized LDL cholesterol contributes to atherosclerosis, where plaque builds up in your arteries, in your blood vessels, and damages the blood vessels. This contributes to cardiovascular disease. So oxidative stress and oxidized LDL can work together, and they can also cause inflammation. In one way, inflammation is a healthy response in our body. It's the body's defense mechanism against injury, infection, or other harmful stimuli. An acute or short-term inflammatory response is an immediate response to a cut or to some injury in your body. This is going to eventually heal, and that short-term inflammation goes away. We can also have long-term inflammation. This is a lower level immune response that can last for weeks, months, or even years. And this is the type of inflammation that's harmful. It can be caused by many factors: environmental toxins, lifestyle factors like lack of exercise, poor diet, stress, and even that oxidative stress that we talked about. So the chlorogenic acids work by activating antioxidant protective mechanisms that neutralize the ROS and thereby reduce oxidative stress. They block inflammation signaling pathways, reducing the production of damaging inflammatory molecules you may have heard of, like TNF-alpha, IL-6, and CRP. And a third important way the chlorogenic acids work is through this pathway called AMPK. This is an enzyme, an important energy sensor in our cells. AMPK is typically activated when our cellular energy is low. So this would be times like during exercise or during fasting. So activation of AMPK is generally a good thing. It stimulates glucose uptake and fat metabolism. It increases our use of fat for fuel, and it reduces cholesterol and the synthesis of new fats. AMPK activation results in enhanced insulin sensitivity and glucose uptake in our muscles. It promotes the process of autophagy in our cells. It activates our mitochondria, the powerhouse of our cells. And it can also reduce inflammatory signaling pathways. So by affecting these three major processes in the body, chlorogenic acids have wide-ranging benefits on human health. Energy pathways like fat burning and blood sugar control are improved through AMPK. Reduction of oxidative stress and inflammation through those antioxidant effects is why these compounds are also so beneficial for neurons and brain health. Less damage to the neurons in our brain as we age means lower risk of cognitive decline, Alzheimer's, and other neurodegenerative conditions. Reduced inflammation long-term is also going to help with insulin sensitivity. So the chlorogenic acids are doing lots of good things for our health, and we have a lot of them concentrated in Unimate. Like the chlorogenic acids, the saponins found in mate, they're also a group of compounds. Different plants can have different types of saponins, but the type in your mate are called mate saponins. And these particular saponins have been shown to have anti-inflammatory, cholesterol lowering, antioxidant, immune boosting, and antimicrobial actions. They're also very bitter, like Dr. Bickman just mentioned, bitter compounds that can help reduce cravings for the sweet taste. These saponins can have many effects throughout the body, but to highlight two, they work to block pro-inflammatory signaling pathways in the cells, and therefore reduce the release of cytokines that are pro-inflammatory, that cause inflammation, like TNF-alpha and IL-6. They've also been shown to reduce cholesterol, and they do this in two ways. First, they can bind directly to cholesterol in our digestive tract and prevent it from being absorbed. So that's going to help in one way keep cholesterol lower. The second way is that they can bind bile acids in the digestive tract and prevent them from being reabsorbed. So bile is something that we secrete during digestion. It helps us absorb fat. And those bile acids are made from cholesterol. The body normally it likes to reuse and recycle those bile acids. But when some of them are blocked from being reabsorbed because the saponins are blocking them, the body has to use cholesterol to make more bile acids, and over time, that helps lower cholesterol levels. Two other important compounds we isolate and concentrate in Unimate are theobromine and caffeine. Now these two have very similar chemical structures. Theobromine is actually a metabolite of caffeine, so some of the caffeine you ingest gets turned into theobromine. You'll also find theobromine in cacao, dark chocolate, some teas, and of course, yerba mate. The effects of caffeine itself are pretty well known, right? It increases energy, boosts mood, enhances focus, and can suppress appetite. And theobromine is going to have a lot of those same effects, but because of the small differences in structure between caffeine and theobromine, theobromine takes longer to be absorbed by the body, and its effects tend to be longer lasting. So what does this mean? It means you'll get a lot of those same benefits that you get with caffeine, but a little more relaxed, without the spike, without the jitters that you can get with caffeine. Theobromine is known as the feel-good compound in chocolate. So combining theobromine with the naturally occurring caffeine that we have in yerba mate and unimate results in the benefits of both compounds, but without the jitters, without the crash. So it's that calm sense of focus you get when you take unimate. That's from the combination of these two. And like the saponins, these are also both very bitter compounds. So drinking them is going to help reduce those sweet cravings that we've already talked about. These are the 4 main bioactives we isolate and concentrate in unimate. And they drive the benefits that people feel and experience from our product. I want to pull in one other point from Dr. Bickman's presentation. He talked about glycation. Chronically high blood sugar levels lead to more glycation, more sugar molecules attaching to and damaging proteins and other things in our body. And glycation generates these advanced glycation end products, or AGEs. AGEs in turn promote both inflammation and oxidative stress. So all of these processes are interconnected, and none are good for our metabolic or long-term health. We all have glycation happening in our bodies right now. We all have those ROS that cause oxidative stress and damage in our cells. And we all have some level of inflammation happening in our body. None of these processes are diseases themselves, but they can all drive or exacerbate chronic conditions and diseases like insulin resistance, type 2 diabetes, cardiovascular disease, obesity, arthritis, Alzheimer's, and so on. Aging is just the accumulation of damage from these processes over a lifetime. These processes are inevitable, but we do have some control over how much damage they cause in our body. If you think about why most products and health programs fail, it's because they address a very narrow focus in a complex web of metabolism. Human diseases are the result of complex, interconnected dysfunctions within the body, particularly metabolic disease. Each of these processes cause damage in our body: glycation, inflammation, and oxidative stress. Again, not diseases themselves, but they are all processes that underlie poor metabolic health. The compounds that we are isolating and concentrating in unimate work to block or reduce glycation, inflammation, and oxidative stress. The synergy of compounds in unimate are getting at those underlying root causes of health conditions versus targeting a single narrow focus further in the process. So what do I want you to take away from my talk today? I hope you have the ability to share about the power of unimate in these 3 key areas: your personal experience with the product, our important BioSelect process that standardizes the production of unimate so you know you're getting an effective product every single time you take it, and the science. What are those 4 key compounds we concentrate in unimate, and how they affect those processes of glycation, inflammation, and oxidative stress that contribute to aging and all aspects of health. Yerba mate is so much more than just a plant that grows in South America. It's a community ritual, an ancient wisdom, and modern science. And we take all of the best aspects of yerba mate and put them into Unimate. Unimate is a tool to take people from where they are in this moment to where they want to be with their health. We all know people who are struggling. They might want to improve their health, but they don't know where to start. Or maybe they're like I was 4 years ago, and they're going through a hard time. They just need something to be that easy first step on their journey to better health. The tradition of yerba mate is to share it with friends, old and young. What an awesome opportunity we have, and a gift to be able to share Unimate with others. Thank you, friends, for sharing this time with me.
Thank you, Dr.